Well, we're going to hear from our good friend Rosemary Schindler. She has a lot to say about anti-Semitism and where we are now in time, and there's a warning for us as Americans and as the church to not be on the wrong side of history, but to stand with God and His plan. So let's go now to Rosemary Schindler as she speaks at Oscar Schindler's grave.
I'm standing here in the Catholic cemetery on Mount Zion, where the only German Nazi was allowed to be buried in Jerusalem, that of Oscar Schindler. This is his grave. It was 39 years ago he passed away on October 9th, 1974, at the age of 66. He was buried here in honor of the nearly 12,000 Jews that he saved by employing them in his factories, first an enamelware and then a munitions factory, in Poland and Czechoslovakia for 6 years during the entire Holocaust, daily risking his life, being imprisoned, facing possible death, and maneuvering and manipulating all of his resources to save the lives of his employees, who he referred to as his children. He and his wife Emily were childless, but they were allowed to adopt the families, the Jewish families of Poland and Germany, through the business that they were given as Nazi officials when the Jewish businesses were confiscated beginning in 1939 during Kristallnacht. It was 80 years ago that Adolf Hitler came to power in Germany. He offered change to the people in hard economic times. He told them he would be their champion, that he would restore Germany to prominence and to power. She stood as the most Christian nation in all of Europe at that time, but the people wanted change.
And change is what they got. Healthcare, gun control, abortion. The people of Germany saw in Adolf Hitler a superhero that would bring resolution to their every need. At Yad Vashem, Jerusalem's Holocaust memorial, Catherine and Rosemary walked along the Garden of the Righteous Gentiles. At that site, tribute is paid to Oscar Schindler and others who sacrificed their lives to save the lives of others in one of history's darkest hours.
The same propaganda, and it's a different form that's arising on our college campuses today. It's a anti-Zionism. You know, they say it's okay to be a Jew, but just not a Zionist. That is a heartbreak for you and for me to hear. And so we just want to continue to educate our audience and their children that God has a plan with Israel. And do you have anything to say about Zion and God's appointed times and what He would be saying to the world today about Zion?
Yes. Well, Zion, the new anti-Semitism, the same anti-Semitism in a global form, is anti-Zionism.
Right.
People must understand when they reject Israel, when they speak bad about Israel and persecute Israel and divest from Israel, they are acting in the same way that the Germans and Europeans did to oppress the Jewish people 70, 80 years ago in the Holocaust. That the new anti-Semitism is anti-Zionism.
Right.
Not just against the people, the Jewish people, but against the entire nation of Israel.
Mm-hmm. Right. On an up note, you and I have had the privilege of leading many programs to this Holy Land and sharing God's heart and seeing the anti-Semitism leave and seeing them return from Israel back to the States with such a heart for the Lord and for His land, and then multiply the positive, the view that God has about this land. And one of this little carob pods, can you tell our audience a little bit about what this is?
Yes. In the Holocaust Memorial Museum called Yad Vashem, there is an avenue of trees that are planted representing the Gentiles, the non-Jews, who risked their life without remuneration, put themselves in danger to save the lives of Jewish people being sent to concentration camp or signed to death, or another way, taking them out of harm's way. And this is in memory of those who withstood the evil forces and were an exception to the rule. And so Israel honors those righteous by planting trees, and particularly carob trees. And this is a tree that has qualities that express the type of individual who would withstand tough and perilous times. The carob tree, even if it's burnt and with water, the roots will spring back.
Wow.
So it's showing how even in the Holocaust, with the death of the 6 million, with their destruction in the oven, they were revived and they were resurrected in a way that Israel came back as a nation after 2,000 years. And particularly this fruit, this carob fruit, is something that would sustain people in the wilderness in times of famine. And inside its pod is a seed that is a weight of measure that was used to weigh the value of jewelry and diamonds and to determine the carat value.
Wow.
Expressing the preciousness of the Jewish people, the preciousness of every single life, and the preciousness of those individuals who saved one life or many.
Wow.
There's a saying that goes with those righteous, that is that he that saves the life of one man, it's as if he saved the entire world.
Wow.
Because more precious than even the world itself is a human life made in the image of God.
Thank you for your service. You inspire me, and I know you inspire many people to live for God and to live for His plan for each and every one of us, to be that light and to value life and to value what God values. So thank you, Rosemary.
You're welcome, Catherine.
Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, hear Yeshua cry. How I longed to gather you to me. Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Messiah wept for you. So should we not be weeping too? For Zion's sake, I will not keep silent. For Zion's sake, I'll not hold my peace. For Zion's sake, for Yerushalayim, I will not rest. I will not rest. I've set watchmen on your walls, O Jerusalem. They shall never hold their peace. Day or night, all you who call upon the Lord, call upon the Lord for Zion's sake. I've set watchmen on your walls, O Jerusalem. They shall never, never hold their peace. Day or night, all you who call upon the Lord, take no rest and give him no rest till he makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth, a praise in the earth. less. For Zion's sake, I'll not hold my peace. For Zion's sake, for Jerusalem, I will not rest. I will not rest. I will not rest. I will not rest.
I love Marty's music, For Zion's Sake. You know, Scripture talks about in Isaiah 62:1, for Zion's sake I will not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not rest until her righteousness goes forth as brightness, and her salvation as a lamp that burns. God speaks very dearly about the people of Israel and the place of Israel.
Yeah, that's why it's such an honor to do what we do here and be able to bring this message to the world, to the church, to the Western world. Actually, we've heard people from Australia see us and people in Israel see us. And we can't do it without your gifts of funds. We're so grateful that you partner with us because we can bring you these programs and keep pushing back against anti-Semitism, keep lifting up the Lord, keep speaking about the coming of Messiah and this wonderful thing that's happening between Jews and Christians, and especially within the body between Jews and Gentiles as we learn to worship Yeshua together. I mean, it's just, we're in a time of miracles.
What you always say, you know, the new spin on it, it's okay to be a Jew, but it's not okay to be a Zionist.
Yes.
Well, that's not God's truth.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm just anti-Zionist, anti-Israel.
Right.
Well, Israel was given to the Jewish people. It is a safe place for us to be, for us to live, to flourish, and to, by the way, be a blessing to the rest of the world. And so to be anti-Zionist is to be anti-Semitic, and it is to be, as you said, essentially anti-God.
Right.
Because His Word has prophesied these things in the times that we're living in right now. So, next week, we will be visiting the Lion's Gate, which was where the IDF broke through in 1967 to bring Jerusalem back to the Jewish people and to Israel. And so it's going to be a very exciting program. Don't miss it. And always, please remember, Sha'alu Shalom Yerushalayim.
Pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Our monthly newsletter, The Levitt Letter, is free and full of insightful articles and news commentary from a messianic perspective. Visit Levitt.com to find our newsletter, along with current and past programs, our television schedule, and much more.
Don't forget to order this week's resource by calling 1-800-WONDERS, or you can purchase it from our catalog at Levitt.com.
Your donations to Zola Levitt Ministries help these organizations bless Israel. Please remember, Zola Levitt Ministries depends on tax-deductible donations from viewers like you.
My heart was glad when they said to me, yes, let us go up to the gates of Jerusalem, the gates of Jerusalem.
This has been a paid program brought to you by Zola Levitt Ministries.